here we have My Bloody Valentine, the perfect film to watch on Valentine's Day. I've been reviewing a lot of slasher films lately, and I don't think this one needs any introduction at all. The movie is about a small town that's been terrorized by a killer in the events leading up to St. Valentine's Day. As the kill count rises, the town is forced to cancel its arrangements for a Valentine's Day dance. As soon as the warning is out, the older characters begin to suspect that it has something to do with events which occurred 20 years prior when a miner went insane and started killing people. Of course, none of the others take any notice, and despite the warning, host a Valentine's Day party on their own. What a bunch of ignorant idiots. The killer's calling card is an empty box of chocolates with a freshly cut human heart inside, very much like the rose in Rosemary's Killer. Of course, the story is very similar to Rosemary's Killer. They both have significant events which occurred 20 years prior to the main story, and they both are set in a completely different environment in comparison to more generic slasher films. Not to mention the similarities regarding the similar appearance of the killers in both movies, and the fact that both movies were released the same year. There's a weird love triangle in the story, in which two men fight over a girl and become uncivil with one another because of it. This seems like a stupidly pointless part of the movie, but if you persevere with it ends up having more relevance to the overall plot. The killer, as previously stated, is attired in a miner's uniform and wields a pickaxe. I think this appearance is very effective, and it definitely looks menacing when shown on screen. I also have to admit that this film kept me guessing who the killer might be. Usually I dislike films that show the killer's identity, however this one does a good job at keeping the killer's identity a mystery, and making it feel less like an episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Towards the end of the film, the characters for whatever reason decide to go into the mines. There isn't really a specific reason for them to go into the mines, it's just a cheap way for the film to get the characters into a creepy, unsafe predicament. Having said this, the scenes in the mines effectively convey the feeling of claustrophobia, especially due to the characters being stalked by a killer deep underground in a dark mine, with little space to move around. I'd say this is the most suspenseful moment of the film, due to the characters being in real danger whilst out of their comfort zone. It kinda reminds me of The Descent in that sense. The movie also has some very well done death sequences. However, if you want to see any of them, you'll need to buy the unrated cut of the movie and not make the same mistake I did by getting the cut version. My favourite death scene would have to be the pickaxe through the skull. Yeah, look at that eyeball. In 2009, a remake was released in 3D, set 10 years after the events of the original. Some regard it as a sequel also, however the characters are exactly the same as the first, inevitably messing up the continuity if chosen to be regarded as a sequel. In my opinion, this one isn't really that good. It ups the nudity and gore but is extremely slow and has some awful dialogue, even for a slasher film. The death scenes are well done, however they went overboard on the CGI, which really doesn't look too great. So really, you're not missing out on anything, just watch the original. At the end of the film, the killer is seen in an injured state, staggering off into the distance whilst laughing to himself. It was certainly an unexpected creepy moment which caught me off guard, and in my opinion, it was a perfect way to end the movie. All in all, I rate it 8 pickaxes out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this review, and happy Valentine's Day.
Bloody Valentine. Daddy, gone away.